Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, May 20th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing, but that is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, FFIE, has been the talk of the town. Monster movement, but now this is a very tricky chart to talk about from a presentation standpoint because there's a whole lot of perspective that goes into it. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you were buying up here and your plan was to buy and sell within 25 minutes, well then from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad. With that being said, if you care about more so the bigger picture point of view, and let's just assume the price pulls back even more, and I'm not saying it'll head down to here, but just for argument's sake, let's say the price goes down there to that 66-cent mark. So let me change that to green to represent support. So price comes down here, and then it's just kind of hovering around. What would you still have? Emphasis on big picture. Well, from the big picture perspective, you'd have a set of lows there. You'd have lows there. You'd have lows there. You'd have lows down here. And if you envision each one of those as stair-steps, what do you have from the big picture? Well, from the big picture perspective, you still have stair-steps progressing in the upwards direction. In other words, the trend is still bullish. Once again, I fully understand if you're a day trader and you bought right there, you don't care about these stair steps. But that's why I'm trying to make the distinction, excuse me. Good thing it's Friday. Distinction between a day trader and someone that cares about more so a bigger picture point of view. So is this a good or bad looking chart? Well, I don't know. That all depends on what your strategy was going into the trade. Next one, AMC, and overall, it's looking like the bleeding has finally stopped. Now, sure, it did still come down a little bit today, but nothing, hugely dramatic or anything like that. So it's looking like, though, next week there is going to be a showdown with this 200 period moving average, a pink line right there. And from a technical analysis point of view, that is definitely a level where, assuming you're bullish, when the price is above it, you want to see the price stay above it. And if that level does get tested next week, which is looking like it's got a good chance of, that'll be the big question mark from the bullish part. Is that level going to be able to hold strong? Now, there are no guarantees, so the price isn't for sure going to test that level. Maybe it decides to turn itself around. If it does turn itself around, key area of resistance right there, that purple line there, 50 period moving average, which actually, as you can see, first time in a while, it's curled back downwards. So it now has a downward slope to it. So keep an eye on that dynamic too. But like I said, on the positive side, at least the selling pressure seems to have alleviated. It's not dropping straight down like it was right here. Volume, very, very minimal now. So it seems as though the selling pressure has subsided, but we'll see what this one wants to do early next week. Next one, GWAV. Overall, fine looking chart, but this is like FFIE in the sense of, well, what was your perspective going in? I'm going to just get rid of that level because, yes, if you're some sort of day trader or scalper and you're buying up around here, or you bought the dip right here and your plan was to buy and sell within 3 minutes, well, then yes, from that standpoint, chart looks very, very miserable. But from the big picture point of view, everything is fine. Couple ways you can see that. So I drew this trend line into play in the previous video. I want to extend that out. So first, exhibit number one of why everything is still okay from the bigger picture. Price is still nicely above that trend line. Reason number two, price is still nicely up above that 50 period moving average. And reason number three, price is well above that 200 period moving average. Again, I fully understand that if you're a day trader who bought right there, you don't care about any of these levels. So just remember, it's all about a vantage point. And as the presenter here, I'm trying to cover several different angles all at once. So as far as supports, those will be the main levels to watch. In terms of areas of resistance, if this thing's going to try to turn itself back around, pretty interesting trend line here is formed, relatively steep. So I'm very curious, how does the price behave relative to that level right there? If it can push up through there, and especially if it's a high volume break, then it's logical to think that the price can make another run up toward these highs right here. But as of now, at least in my opinion, top priority right now is just going through a healthy consolidation. Next one, DUO, and a very, very nice technical pattern here. So the first thing, by no means is me drawing that trend line some sort of world-breaking discovery or special talent. I assure you a lot of people have drawn that trend line, and I say that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So we have that part of the pattern, and then in the bottom part we have this nice little trend line right here, and then just to make it all in the same color, hopefully make the pattern easier to see, we have our resistance, we have our support, We have the explosion right here for you golfers. Try to make it a little bit more visual. Put a golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So as I've said, no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it plausible that if the price comes up here and pushes up through there, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. Next one, CRKN, and this one is at a very, very important level, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watch past videos. But if you did, hopefully remember me talking about that green line right there at 15 cents and the power of charts. You can see right there, bounce off of it, and right now is doing battle and maintaining above it. So that'll be the big question mark next week. Can the price continue to hold above 15 cents? If it does not, then the next key level of support that I would definitely consider more so a must-hold level is going to be that pink line down there, 200 period moving average. But you don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves because as of now, the price is respecting that level. But if it doesn't, then like I said, that's where you'd want to turn your attention right to there. In terms of areas of resistance, I'm going to go ahead and make a little adjustment here now that we have more data. Seems as though the key overarching level of resistance up there at 53 cents, but in more of a near-term level. So before we really focus too much on the 53 cent mark, price needs to first prove itself that it can get up above that level right there at the 28 cent mark. So all things considered, holding up pretty well, but again, a bit of perspective. Day traders who bought right there, not feeling so good, but if you care about the bigger picture point of view, it is maintaining above those overall moving averages. Real quick, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, ticker symbol GME, and this will once again mean a little bit more to those of you that watched yesterday's video, but if you did, I talked all about that pink line there, that 200 period moving average being a key level of support, and to give credit where credit's due, it did hold up strong, but talk about a classic example of charts. And if you don't believe me, that's fine. You can just go back and watch a video from Thursday, but I talked about that level, and I don't say that to brag about myself. I say it to brag about charts and how they are a valuable tool, but I will turn into a quick plug. Go get signed up for that webinar, but right here, talked about that as a key level of support, and check it out. It did indeed act as support. But moving into next week, for assuming you're bullish, you definitely want to see that level continue to act as support. So keep a close eye on that purple line right, or excuse me, the pink line right there. As far as levels of support are concerned, nothing fancy here, just basic technical analysis when it, which states rules when a level of support is broken and closed below. You want to see it act, or it tends to act as resistance. If you're short, then yeah, you want to see it act as resistance. What I'm going to actually do is adjust this level down here because I would say the more near-term level right now, right there at 24.50. But top priority, at least in my opinion, is all about that 200 period moving average and whether or not the price can stay above it. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. Very, very nice day today. And this will mean a tad bit more to those of you that watched the previous video, because if you did, you knew that I was talking about these levels right here. Both came into play. You can see this morning. Fantastic job once again of that green line. And I promise I've not just thrown that in there. That was already there. So again, just the power of charts. But price came down there, found some support, got back up to that area of resistance, blew through that area of resistance and all the way up there. So certainly updates need to be done. Going to go ahead and just get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And first update, just based on the rule and levels of resistances are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So 175.50, definitely that ideal level of support to watch moving forward, meaning, that would make the chart look the healthiest and strongest moving forward if the price can stay above there. In terms of areas of resistance, at this point, looking like it's all about probably this trend line here that a whole lot of people have drawn, which once again reintroduces that topic of the self-fulfilling prophecies, because by no means is that some sort of great discovery or mastermind move. Got to think a lot of people have drawn the trend line right there. Now, before you put too much emphasis on the trend line, price is first going to need to break up through that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. But nonetheless, very, very solid day here for Tesla. Next one, AKAN. Very, very ugly looking chart, but for you longer time viewers, you know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly, where when everybody else is giving up, that's when you're entering in, and then that's where some very nice movements can occur. And we have one of those situations down here, essentially kind of a double whammy of support. So let me change that to green right there at 0.134. The first reason is it is a gap close location. Those tend to act as support. The second reason is you can see the purple line just happens to basically be right at that level. Now, let me be very clear. Does that mean for sure guaranteed if the price comes down here, it is bouncing? Of course not. No guarantees. That's why risk management matters. But is this at least a plausible scenario? Is there at least some reasoning behind this? Absolutely. Now, definitely don't touch these if you're not disciplined. I mean, you shouldn't be trading if you're not disciplined, but that's a whole nother video. But certainly don't touch these if you're not willing to honor stop loss and all that sort of stuff. But from a risk versus reward scenario, you'd have very minimal risk on the line. But if you get some sort of bounce, you'd be looking at a whole lot more upside reward. Next one here, BURU, and this is exactly why I like to do these when the market's still open, because check this out as I speak. Very, very nasty last 30 minutes, and now becoming quite ugly. I mean, I was thinking, okay, we're going to be talking about a bull pennant pattern, but with the break right here in the last 30 minutes, things have changed around to more so one of these ugly situations. But again, as I just said, there can be opportunity in the ugly, and in this situation, whoops, I'm supposed to change that to green. There we go. We have this area down here. Let me just offer up a little bit more context here. Was this former right on this gap close location or former breakout point? But even if you want to just set that green line aside, the other reason was, check it out. We have essentially the pink line 200 period moving average, purple line 50 period moving average, also right at the same level. So as I just said, and I'll become a broken record for a second, does it mean that the price will for sure go down there and for sure bounce? Of course not, but is it at least reasonable? Absolutely. So if you're willing and able to be disciplined and set yourself up a nice little risk reward scenario, that is what this chart is giving you if it can make its way down here. But yeah, no doubt about it. Ugly, ugly afternoon, but there can be opportunity in the ugly. Next one here, TQQQ. Bigger pullback today, but as has been the theme, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level. It's all about perspective, because sure, if you're a day trader and you're buying up around here or there, things are looking rough. And yes, the past couple of days, there has been a downwards channel. But past couple of days, as in 2 days, if you care about the bigger picture point of view, you're going to be saying, well, fair enough, Clay, but what was happening the previous days, not just the last two? And what was happening the previous was this big old upwards move right here, which has given me the ability to draw a bull flag pattern. So assuming you care about the big picture point of view, a bull flag pattern would be the easiest way to summarize this. So overall, in other words, things are perfectly fine, even with the pullback the past couple of days. In fact, that purple line right there continues to do a great job of holding that support, which you now know is that 50 period moving average. Overarching area of resistance still up there at $64. But again, assuming you care about the big picture point of view, easiest way to summarize this one right now is 30-minute time frame bull flag pattern. I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but again, for you stock traders out there, if you enjoyed what you saw here, you want to learn more, go get signed up for the free class. It'll be next week, Thursday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It will be live. There will be question and answers, so definitely go sign up, and we'll have a great time there. Now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. We are now looking at the 4-hour time frame. I mean, each one of these is no longer 30 minutes, but 4 hours, and I like to do that because Bitcoin is open 24/7, so that'll keep this analysis relevant all weekend long. But yes, as I speak right now, Bitcoin is doing battle with that red line, which I talked about before, at 67,300. So that is where we're going to start things off with the question. So question number one, you need to ask yourself, let's just say you're watching this Sunday afternoon. Question number one, where is the price currently at relative to 67,300? If you're answering the question that the price is up above that level, well, that means that the price has gotten the breakout and things are looking very good. And now the next level you would want to ask yourself is, okay, price is up through there. Where's the price at relative to 68,000? And if you're saying the price is up above 68,000 too, that just means Bitcoin is having a great weekend. Obviously, how great of a weekend? Well, the further up above this area it is, the better the weekend that it is. But like I said, any sort of answer that the price is above 68,000 is telling you Bitcoin doing very, very well for the weekend. Now, maybe you're saying, well, Clay, actually the price is still down below 67,300. At that point, okay, well, where's the price at relative to 63,500? As long as you're saying the price is above there, then at the end of the day, you have some sort of form of consolidation going on. That's all you would basically have is some choppiness back and forth, nothing to worry about, nothing to go straight up. Now, the moment where I don't want to say panic, but what that would be a red flag is if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below 63,500. That would be very shaky. If you're answering the question that the price is down below that trend line right there, that'd be a very bad weekend. That would imply that something's not quite right. I'd be shocked if you're answering it in that way. But nonetheless, those would be the kind of the questions to ask for. But yes, as right now, at least as I speak, that's the main pressing question. Can the price break above here? And you're going to have a much better idea depending on when you watch this. But 67,300, can it get the break? Let's see how the weekend plays out. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader because what you learn about in this class definitely can and should be used within your trading too. So go get signed up for it. It'll be Thursday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And like I said, there'll be a live question and answers. It'll be a great time. So I hope to see you there. If you enjoy these the top 10 videos, hit that live. Can you tell it's Friday? I do offer live trade videos, though, by the way, if you want to check out the channel. But if you enjoy these top 10 videos, hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. Let me know if you have any requests for next week, and I can do my best to get to those. So thanks for watching. Take care. Go get signed up for that free class.